Man buys coffee on way to office, let the story commence. No, no worries, had to post bail. We'll be resuming tonight, but I don't think Dando knew what was happening. I can imagine. In case you missed it last night, everybody, um, I'll try and sum it up very quickly. My blue bin, the recycle bin, the paper bin, went missing about 4 weeks ago or 6 weeks ago. 2 or 3 of the 2 week intervals that these bin gets picked up went missing, and what was left behind was some other bin. Now my bin didn't have, you couldn't really see my street number on it that clearly. It was kind of like more scratched in and sort of painted, or I did sort of have a felt tip, but it kind of went away. And this other bin that was left in its place was kind of the same, but a bit more done in. I was like, somebody's fucking taking my bin. So I waited to see if anybody was going to claim this other bin that was left in its place, because I thought that's the person who took my bin has left their actual bin behind. But it could actually be somebody else's. Somebody's maybe just stole my bin. And I'm ready to take somebody else's. Just take somebody else's. So I waited. Nobody claimed it, so I took this fucking leftover bin. All the other bins were taken back into like back gardens and lanes and all that. And I took this leftover one and I used that. 2 weeks later, I went out, all the bins were taken out. I looked for mine. It wasn't out there with the rest of it. So I was like, somebody, where the fuck is it? Anyway, yesterday, me and Daniel went for a walk, came back, and there's all the bins out for the day. They were out yesterday in preparation for the day. Oh fuck, you told us this last night. That's right. Aka Gumi, and I hope you're meaning, oh that's right. Oh fuck, you told us this last night. It's a really good story. Everybody listen to this. And you don't mean it like, oh fuck, you told us this last night. There's people who weren't here at midnight. We came back for a walk, and there's all the blue bins out. And I had a wee look. There's my one. I clocked it. Went up to it. There it is. You could just see the address sort of scratched in. I was like, fucking, this is my fucking bin. Here it is here. Opened up, had a look in. There's an address. Because it's a paper bin. It's where you shove your fucking parcels and fucking stuff like that. Had a look in. Limmy, you're not allowed to look in. You're not allowed to look in somebody else's bin. It's my fucking bin. Opened it. The address was for round the corner. The address was for round the corner. There is a lane. There is a lane where the sort of backs of our houses are kind of next to the backs of their houses, and there's a lane. And anyway, I thought, right, I need to take this bin, my fucking bin that's been stolen, back into my back garden, get the fucking paint out, paintbrush, like I've done with the other ones, like everybody else has done with their bins, and get the fucking number on. Get the number on the street and all that sort of shit on it. Leave a lane that's really good at. So I did that. Anyway, as I was walking up this lane, I was like, right, so what address is that? I looked at the address of the person who had been taking my bin, and I was like, right, they're in there, and see their back fence, the back gate to the garden, it's all burnt. It's all burnt. It's all charred. And I remembered, that's right. Lynn told us that somebody's bin was burnt. Shit like that happens. Some wee bastard chucks a match in. It's either accidental or deliberate, you don't know. But it was right at the back gate, obviously, because it's all fucking burnt. And there it was. And there at the bottom of the gate, molten blue plastic. Well, it was hard now, but like 4 months ago. It was their fucking blue bin that had been burnt. So they weren't just accidentally taking my bin because it kind of looked like their bin. Their bin hasn't really got a really visible address on it. So they just, I must have picked up the wrong one. They just fucking swiped somebody else's bin because they don't have one anymore because somebody burnt it. Well, they can take that one that was left there if nobody else is claiming it. But I've written all it. I've written all it. Addresses all it. And if my bin goes fucking missing this time, with the address plastered all over it, honestly, it's like this. It's not quite this much, but it's like I'm going to do an improv. It's like that. There will be there's no mistake. That's pure straightforward theft. That's straightforward theft, and I will be going to the police. I will be going to the police force, and it will be a 999 call. So that this isn't an emergency. Well, it is to me. No, I'm not actually. I'm not saying phone 999 for non-emergencies. That's just a wee joke. Please don't get me arrested. Anyway, man buys coffee on way to office. Let the story commence. Craig, on his way to the office, bought a coffee. The end. No, it's not that. It's not the end. Listen. He got a coffee and he went into that Costa that are now letting people in with the masks. With the masks that all the kind of anti-maskers, anti-vaxxers cracked up about. Was it Costa? Was it Nero? Cafe Nero? What was it? What was it? Does nobody know? Does nobody remember? It was Costa. Was it Costa? Costa said on Twitter or something like that, we will not be letting people in, even when the restrictions are lifted. We won't be letting people in without a mask or something for a period of time or something. And then you got all these people who don't wear masks saying, that's it then, we're not coming in. Not the brightest bunch. Not the brightest bunch. Anyway, so it was Costa. What are you saying, Bobby? It's still Bobby. Craig was walking up to this Costa, and there was all these people outside with signs, and it was like mad shite, like NW New World Order and things like that. Like, what the fuck is this? Quotes for fucking Orwell, quotes for Revelations, and all that. Number of the Beast, all this shit. And Craig went like here, and he pulled out. He had this canister of petrol on him, right? And he splashed it all over them. No, that didn't happen. That didn't happen at all. What happened was these three wee guys came running up, wee bastards. They didn't take any sides regarding masks and all that. They just didn't care. Didn't give a fuck. Wee guys, and one of them stuck uh, a bottle of the heat of one of these protesters, and Craig was thinking that's fucking out of order. Cracked the bottle smashed, ripped her face, and Craig was thinking that's fucking out of order. Craig himself really disagreed with these anti-maskers, anti-vaxxers, really disagreed. But there's no need for that. There was no need for that. No need for that. A bottle of the fucking heat. And Craig saw it happen. And the police came, an ambulance came, and the three wee guys ran away. And then once the ambulance left, and the police left, the three wee guys came back and did it to another couple of people, bottle right in the face, one of them, right in the face. And it was a milk bottle. Dead easy to smash. Big fucking shard of glass like that. Right in the eye like that. Up the way like that. Horrible pain. And Craig was sitting in Costa this whole time looking out. Just thinking, I disagree with these people. I disagree with them. But there's no need for all that. Once things descend into violence, the whole thing's fucked. Because if you descend to violence, they can descend to violence. You have what's known as a war. It's when everything descends into violence. So Craig didn't agree with any of that, and he didn't find any pleasure in it whatsoever. No pleasure at all. No pleasure. There was no pleasure to be gotten from this kind of violence. No pleasure at all. And you know, the funny thing is, it's no funny, but I mean funny weird, no funny ha ha ha. A lot of these people who were taken to hospital, the anti-maskers, the anti-vaxxers, they had to get operated on. And the surgeons operating were themselves anti-maskers, and they didn't wear masks, and they did actually happen to have coronavirus, and they coughed their coronavirus into the open wounds. And they also coughed various other diseases. There was a bit of typhoid, malaria, leprosy there, so on and so forth. Rabies, it was there. And the rabies grew. It was a way in. And see rabies or leprosy, typhoid, malaria, cholera, all them by them. TB was there, tuberculosis, TB. Any of them by themselves is bad. But kind of like ingredients in Skyrim for potions. See, when you mix one with another, it's something altogether new. It's not just fuck. I've not just got fucking rabies. I've got that fucking malaria. I know. When you combine malaria with rabies, it's a new thing that does new things. It doesn't just stack. You don't just have the symptoms of that and the symptoms of that. It's completely new. Does it cancel out? Grupp says cancels out. Aye, that's what that lot would think. They would think something like that. But unfortunately, it's not the case. The rabies doesn't like harm the malaria. It doesn't make the malaria ill, and then the malaria has to like sort of stay in bed for 2 weeks. If only you could fight one disease with another. That would be really, really good. That would be really, really clever. It just doesn't work like that, pal. They combine into new things. Riblaria, says Lanky. Pretty bad stuff. Yeah, really, this is what actually happens. This is what happens. So I just want to end on this. I'm not going to show you anything. gory. But this is what basically happens to the. This is what basically happened to these open wounds. This is what. Let's be at that. This here is what happens. This is what happened to their faces, the people who had been slashed and had the cuts. When the surgeon coughed in a mixture, various surgeons, they were all anti-maskers, coughed in malaria, cholera, rabies, leprosy, TB, the lot. No, this is YouTube. This is fine. The lot. When those diseases and bacteria mix, this is what happened to their faces, the people who'd been slashed. Not ideal, says Pocket Shepherd. Not ideal at all. So that's what happened there. That's when they combine. That's when they combine there. So that there is like typhoid, cholera, rabies, and bubonic plague. And the surgeons coughed all that into the cuts. They produced something new. No COVID. Oh, that's without it. That's just without it. There you go. And just for an idea of scale here, their faces were about that size. See that? That's the size of their head. That there. That there. The end. And that's a true story. Because I worked as a janitor in that new hospital in Glasgow. And I had to clean all that up. Is Craig okay now? Oh, he was fine. He didn't get affected. He was watching it, I remember. Craig didn't get affected. He was watching the 2 out of 10. Oh, so sorry. So sorry that talking about coronavirus doesn't get 10 out of 10. So sorry. You're starting to sound like one of them, by the way.